Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant and welcome to this video where we are going to start off the actual building of the project that I described in my last video, which is, let me kind of minimize myself here, right here. So this is kind of the high level idea of what we're trying to do, or the architecture of what we're trying to do. So we're going to have producers and we're going to have consumers. And producers are going to add items to inventory. Consumers are going to take items away from inventory. That's how it goes, and we're going to have an API gateway to be able to route all of those requests, verify authentication of who a user is, keep a user logged in when they need to be, etc. And so then the consume resource will be the microservice, which is responsible for all of the logic which consumes, which is part of the task of consuming resources. Likewise, supplying resources will be adding resources. So that's the microservice that handles all of that logic. And then they both use this items database. That's the high-level architecture. Great. Now, how do we actually build it? So I'm thinking about this, and what I am initially thinking is, well, how do I want to get started is we can't just build everything at the same in one go. What I'm thinking is we try to first get one of these, like consume resource and an items database. We just get this kind of working, okay? And now thinking about it a little bit more, we can't consume a resource until we've actually added a resource, right? So it actually makes sense that we start with this one, so supply resource and the database. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is not worry about all of this stuff. We're just going to try to focus on this part right here. And then once we get that, we might be able to do this consume resource. Okay. Then once we get the consume resource, now we have these three items. Then we might be able to add an API gateway. And this API gateway can build that out. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about going about doing this. So I came here, I created this repo for it, like backend project. That's what I'm calling it, okay? So I will copy this, and I have this empty project. And let's, where's terminal here? Here we go. New terminal, okay. So let's just paste that in there, and hopefully everything is all good. There we go. Says that these are on track. So get status, get add all, get, what do I want to do? Which branch am I on? Main. Okay, fine. We can be on main. We'll do that. We'll do it later. Switching to a different branch. So get commit adding documents that I created for this project. Actually, hold on. Now let me make myself a little bit smaller up here. So for this project requirements and design doc, I should come here and copy and paste all this in. So copy, I mean, it's not gonna look good and I can't do the photos, but at least it's something, right? Oh, that looks awful. That looks really bad. I don't want to, no, I don't, never mind. I'd rather just have it empty. Okay, so we'll figure out how to get that later. How we want to format that, but let's just put that git push origin main and make sure that it's connected to our Git. We should be able to refresh this and see, bam, we're live. All right, so let's come here and actually start the project. So first thing I want to do is, all right, I'm gonna come here. We need Springboot. Here we go. Springboot. Okay. So now I want, yeah, Maven, Java, this one. Okay. I need to figure out what do I actually want to call it. So updates. Okay. Let's come to here and let's ask what is a normal Spring Boot group artifact and name. Group artifact and name. So let's see what it says, and then we'll be able to put that in the way that we want. So so for group, it's com example. So com example for our group. Okay, cool. And then artifact name. Okay. Timothy, artifact is going to be what? Consume or produce. Resource. Okay. And microservice for generating or adding items to inventory. Okay. Generate. All right. So now I should be able to just come here and plop that in there. Add folder to workspace. Okay. So let me now try to get status. I don't like that. I don't like that. Why is it not? It should be having this as added, right? Okay. So that is the second thing. I dropped my file that I downloaded from, what was this called? Spring Initializer. Into my Visual Studio Code IDE under the same project level that I am currently But when I do get status, I am not seeing that the directory is actually being tracked. Okay, let's see what it has to say about that, and then we can figure out how to actually fix it. Okay, so we're first just checking where we are and then listing the items. Okay, so I don't need to copy and paste that. PWD and then ls minus a. So I can you're right, it's not in there. It wasn't added. Okay. So now it kind of brings up the question of like, why is it not added? Obviously, I know what I can do, which is take that document, open up a folder, and just force it in there, right? But like, why? Why did it not work? Let's see. You are right that my folder was not actually added. Why is this the case? But I see it in my, what's this called? Like, a workspace, untitled workspace, backend project. Okay. Okay. Untitled workspace. All right, so there's multiple things going on right now. Obviously, we're trying to do this project. We're trying to get it successful, right? We're trying to build it. The other thing is, I also want to learn along the way. I also want to experiment with things. I want to be able to, you know, figure out what's going on, how it's working, etc. So, all right. And so this indicates that there's a difference between this is not a this isn't the folder location. So what is workspace? Something which is fairly, I'm actually glad that I kind of stumbled upon this because it lets me realize something pretty important, right? Like, I'm glad that I was able to catch my lack of knowledge, and now we can rectify it. Okay. So VS Code is a file system aware. If you drag any folder into your workspace, even if it's outside of Git repo, VS Code will show it as part of your project. It doesn't care whether it's in Git or not. Okay. Git only sees what's inside of the initialized repo. Okay. Common scenarios. You dragged your Springboot folder next to or above the Git repo. Is there a difference between the workspace tab that I see in my VS Code and a folder and a folder / directory? Okay. So yes, the workspace in VS Code and a regular folder or directory aren't the same thing, though they're closely connected. Okay, so folder directory It is a structure in the file system. Contains your actual files like code, images, etc. You can open a folder directly in VS Code and treat it as a project. When you run pwd, that's what you see. Okay, workspace. A workspace in a VS Code concept is not a file system object. It's a configuration that can include one or more folders. I think what's going on now, I'm going to come back and keep reading that, but I think what's going on is this. I added this product, or did I call it product resource? I was trying to say produce resource. Okay, kind of messed up there. We'll fix that. I took that and I added it to my workspace. Then that's not adding it to the folder. 'Cause I'm looking here and I always just treated this as a folder, okay? Where, okay, well, I have my backend project, and I'm also realizing that it's not even on the in the right level. Hold on, what? PWD. I'm at this backend project. That means I'm here. What would happen if I no, CD up one and then ls? The Apple, I said CD, and the Apple Assistant, not going to say the name, but the Apple Assistant started, oh, you said my name. Okay. Do I see this product resource here? Product resource. No. Okay, so that actually is more evidence that what I was initially thinking is correct. So I added this to my workspace, and this just gives VS Code kind of the context to this project. But this actual thing right here is located in some location. And I didn't change the location, so it's probably wherever, like downloads or something like that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, wherever the delete is. Do I know? New folder. Remove folder from workspace, yes. Okay, so now what I want to do is go back here, go back to here, and change this. Producer resource. Okay. Generate this one. Okay, so now I am going to open up Finder. And then I am going to open this up in a new tab, okay? So my desktop. And I am looking for practice, here we go. And we want what, backend project, okay? So here's this one. And now I producer resource, unzip. Copy that over, and now paste it. Okay. All right. So now you can come here. Aha. And look, all of those are untracked. So hold on. Let me. I need to CD into my backend project. ls. Now I should be able to do get status here, and this is untracked. So get add all, get status, get commit commit minus m created the initial framework for the producer microservice. Okay, git push origin main. And now that I'm thinking about this, I should also start branching, not working on main anymore. Okay, so there we go. Let's now try. That's not what I want. Source, main, Java, here. Okay. So now I need to try to, what is this even? Hold on. What is this even trying to do? It's going to be interacting with the database, and it's going to have, so I know that this uses what, like the Tomcat server, right? And so I need to be able to have something that will actually handle API requests. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to end this video here, and then in the next video, what I'm going to try to do is try to get this to be able to handle an API request. That's all I'm going to do, is try to get it to handle that API endpoint, or an API endpoint, get it to so that it can do that. Then what we need to do is connect to the database. So we need to first create a database, and then, yeah. So that's kind of where we're going with this microservice and how we're planning to move forward. If that is interesting to you and you want to continue following or whatever, I don't know. Subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and goodbye.